Hey
everyone.
Hello, Friday.
Hello, Friday.
Friday.
What's going on, boys?
Last day of May.
The 31st, you're right.
Tomorrow's June.
Uh-huh.
The month in which summer comes.
I know. We still have 1 more days of it becoming a little bit lighter each night.
Yes, before we hit our peak.
I love it. I love it. I love it. June's one of my favorite months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For that very reason.
It loves you too. It just emailed me and said, "I love heaven."
I'm not surprised. You know,
you love June because June is when we have the most sunlight of the year.
Exactly right. Yes,
that's it. I know you.
Sunlight. Yeah.
I'm a sunshine kind of guy.
So there was some big news we got to talk about.
Yes, watermelons are on sale.
Oh. No.
Really? They're in season.
Scientists discovered the plant with the largest genome.
I saw that.
Other living organism.
Some flower, right?
It's a plant. I don't think it's a flower. It's a fern.
Yeah, it's a fern.
So it's not a flowering plant.
No, but it's a fern. Yeah.
It has 50 times the DNA that humans have.
Yeah.
What the hell, man?
Why? Why
50 times? Why? That's the problem. We don't know.
It's not very efficient.
But I mean, right? How much of that isn't like? Just so much of that is garbage.
Yeah, I would say that.
Not that it's garbage. It's that the plants they breed differently, and because of that they tend to have a lot more like doublings of their genome over evolutionary time. So that's why they just have like a lot of copies.
Is this what is the fork fern?
Bob, are you saying it's like terribly inefficient?
Yeah, it's not
like a waste of energy.
No, just that if you get down to the genome that actually does shit, it's a lot tinier than the entirety of the genome. I mean, but most genomes are that way. It's just evolutionary baggage.
I get that. I get that.
You should watch out. Don't talk about ferns that way. They're listening, man.
They're everywhere.
They're in the gully.
160 billion base pairs.
Yeah.
Holy Jesus.
But that's 11 billion than the previous record holder.
Yeah.
So there are already things.
Yeah, wow. What do we got? 2 billion?
1/50th of that. We have. I was just looking at that number. I'll tell you in a second.
He's finding it, looking for it. That's it. Does that look complex to you?
Yes, it does. Very.
Look at all those genes.
Got a little nodules and stuff.
We have 3 billion base pairs.
3
billion.
compared to this
We are
100.
genetically
Losing.
inferior to the
Billion.
fern.
Why are we just finding out about this now?
What
you
does
know?
this plant know?
Because well, you think we've sequenced every single organism on the Earth?
We should.
Yeah.
We will. We'll get there.
AI will help. Better.
So
When it's
other
weight
things,
AI.
other
Is this the
things
plant
in the
of
news,
Terraria?
guys.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, we're
Nobody
not-
wants to say it. We're all afraid.
We're all afraid. What are we afraid?
I'm not afraid. Donald Trump,
Oh.
30 was 34, correct, guys?
34.
Whatever.
Now
Found guilty of
convicted felon
34
Donald
yeah.
Trump.
Yep.
Well, technically not convicted, but yeah, good enough.
No, he's convicted.
He's-
No,
He's not sentenced. He's
not
not
until
sentenced.
sentencing are you officially convicted, but close enough.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Then what do you call it when you're between conviction and sentencing?
Pre-convicted.
Limbo.
Victed.
Pre-convicted. Pre-convicted.
So, you know, so much to say, so much we don't want to say. I mean, the bottom line is,
I was surprised. I thought there'd be at least one person. All it would have taken is one person.
Yeah,
hung
but
jury, and
right.
Yeah.
And normally,
Yeah.
if they were to have to come to an unanimous count on any of the three charges, that it may have been different, but they didn't have to be unanimous on the three things.
Yeah.
Those are the instructions from the judge, so that's why.
Wait,
They
what
think
was-
that's why. They don't even really know. But
It
Yeah.
didn't need to be unanimous. What are you talking about? They didn't need to be unanimous.
So
each count did not need to be each in the judge's instructions. Okay, there's basically saying here's three things you basically need to consider whether you're guilty or not, and the 12 did not have to be unanimous on any of those three.
in other words, they could have thought he was guilty for different reasons, and that's okay.
yeah.
Right? The
Right.
jurors didn't have to agree on exactly what components made up the fact that he was guilty.
And I don't know if we have any lawyers listening or anything. I've never heard of anything like that before. As far as
No, it's
instruction,
standard.
it
That's
is
not-
standard.
Yeah, that wasn't no.
Okay.
There was nothing really out of the ordinary about really any aspect of the trial. There was a novel legal theory presented, right?
Right.
Was
Mhm.
that specifically that the campaign interference elevates the misdemeanor booking crimes into a felony, right? So that doesn't mean it was not a good theory; it was just untested. But now this is precedent. This case is precedent unless it gets overturned on appeal. We shall see.
Yeah. That's very unlikely, though. My takeaway from it is, I was worried that our legal system was going to buckle under the weight of a billionaire.
Yeah.
Quote unquote.
And I'm happy that it didn't. And I'm also happy that we have a functioning electoral process. Those two things, a lot of people no longer believe in those two institutions, which is troubling. And democracy needs both of them to function. So I hope there's no violence. I really do. I think it's unlikely that there will be none, but I really hope that none happens.
They're definitely Trump's extreme supporters are calling for violence. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it is, again, whatever you think about the verdict, that's the process that we have in this country. There's no evidence that there was anything rigged or illegal or whatever about the process. There's no evidence of any of that. It was, it followed the rules. The rule of law was absolutely followed in this case, and this is the outcome of it. What's I think the saddest part of this is, it's predictable that Trump would, completely throw the rule of law under the bus when it doesn't create an outcome that he likes. What's really disappointing is the number of Republicans who are backing him up on that, who are attacking the justice system, attacking the rule of law just to get on Trump's good side. It's that's reprehensible in my opinion.
Yeah, and if he wins, they'll double down, and if he loses the election, they'll slowly back away from that position
Until for a month or so.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But we could talk about this and probably just upset ourselves.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, Steve said it. We have a functioning judicial system. We know it's an imperfect system, but it's a system that we have, and it's the one that we agree on. And you can't cry when things don't go your way.
Sure, you
You
can.
know what I mean?
Well,
You-
you
you-
People do it all the time.
Yeah.
but meaning like you can't.
The point being that, yeah, the democracy only works, the justice system only works, any games only work. Anytime there's a system where you have agreed upon rules, everyone has to agree to abide by the outcome if those rules are followed. And you can't go into any kind of agreement saying, I will only agree to the rules and the system if I win. And if I lose, then the game was a cheat or the game was rigged or it wasn't fair.
But that's also
And
why we have an appellate system to kind of make
There's a
sure
process.
that things are correct, right?
You know, Trump had 63 or 64 lawsuits exploring his wacko ideas about the fact that the election was stolen. And he lost, I think, all but one on a technicality, but he basically lost all of his notions, that most of which were cribbed from like the worst, far right fever swamps of the internet. But whatever, he had his day in court. That's the process that we have. He made his case. They were thrown out of court because they were terrible. They were just basically rumors with no evidence. They were just legally horrible. And so he got nowhere, and that's it. And you accept the result. But he didn't. He basically supported an insurrection against the peaceful transfer of power because he didn't like the result. That to me, that's disqualifying. And now, same thing. There was a court case. He could say he disagrees with the outcome. He could say whatever, about what he agrees or disagrees with. But again, if he were a normal politician candidate, whatever, you would say that, but we respect the outcome of the rule of law. I will appeal it because I disagree with it, but this is the outcome and we have to respect that. Just like Al Gore did when he lost, in the 2000 election. At the end of the day, you say, well, but that was the outcome of the process that we have. Right. But now we have an entire political party attacking the rule of law in order
and our electoral process.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Have so many Republicans, basically everyone sucking up to try to win the VP stakes, will not explicitly say that they will respect the outcome of the election if Trump doesn't win. They won't say it. Think about that. Not too long ago, that would be unprecedented. That would be disqualifying in American politics.
Yeah, I mean, it is extremism that has been slowly unfolding before our eyes for years, and now it's getting to a very scary point. It was scary back when they attacked the Capitol, but it's a fever pitch now.
Yeah,
and it's constant. I've tried to talk to people and try to discuss the facts and everything. And one person I talked to, anything that comes from a government website is false information.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that comes from,
unless you like it. Basically anything you don't like is fake news.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds good to me.
And it's a scary position the U.S. is in right now because things are only going to get worse.
I'm seeing different definitions of what conviction means.
Uh-oh, here we go.
My source yesterday said that it technically happens, it finishes when you're sentenced. Here's one definition. This is from justice.gov. It says, in the United States practice, conviction means a finding of guilt, i.e. a jury verdict or finding of fact by the judge, and imposition of sentence. So it seems by some definitions to be twofold. You're found guilty and the sentence is imposed. Together comprises a conviction. But I mean, I have a few sources that are saying that.
Yeah, whatever.
Sources aren't. Whatever, it is what it is.
We can still call him whatever we want, right? We call him. Call him some guy.
Oh my gosh.
Justice.
The guy.
Justice.gov, government website.
He's the jail guy.
Take that as you will.
So, but it doesn't seem like he's actually going to get any time, probably, right? So
we'll see. I mean, he can. It's
can
within the range of options, but but probably unlikely.
Yeah,
I think I read one source that said people convicted of a similar crime, 10% get jail time.
Yeah,
so that means 90%.
Well, Cohen got 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
The guy who
And I also read that they could stay the sentence until the appeal process is done. Is what I also read.
That's up to the judge, isn't it?
Is that a part up to the judge? I suppose it would be. Who else would it be?
I
up
think
to?
it is.
Yeah,
I think it is.
They could confine him to
house arrest, basically.
Yeah.
They can confine him to his house. They can force him to do.
They deem him a risk.
Community service.
Community service would be interesting. I don't know. That's such a tough call. Who knows?
Yeah, that judge is in a hot seat because his decisions on how he handles these things could have a dramatic impact on what happens and people's reactions and everything. You know, I mean, if they just throw him in jail, now this is where things get really complicated and ugly. If they do put him in jail, right, that could cause violence, which means our political system could be swayed by potential threatened violence that Trump has been planning from the beginning.
You mean our justice system? Our
justice system, yeah. There could be decisions could be made and not made because of perceived threats of violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not good. That's not good. We can't function if anybody can throw threats out there and we're going to be like, oh, we have to back down because of that.
That's Trump's MO. He's used intimidation and threats and, to wiggle out of accountability his whole career.
Yep.
And that's his stated approach, just attack and deny. And that's what he did here. And it did bite him in the ass from this trial. So it's a little bit satisfying that his approach probably lost this trial for him. Like a competent lawyer who didn't just do whatever his client told him to do. May have won this case for the defense. Like, for example, the big thing he did wrong was deny everything, even the undeniable. Like he didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels. I doubt anybody on the jury believed for a hot second that Trump didn't have sex with Stormy Daniels.
Yeah.
And so that basically means, well, these guys are denying everything. So they lose their credibility. If they just said, yeah, sure, he had sex with her, but so what, but that's not what he's being accused of. But Trump didn't want to do that. And so, they basically lost their focus on the 2 or 3 sort of weakest points of the case. If they had remained laser focused on those, they would have had a much better chance of winning. But instead they lost. They just created all this noise that made them seem like, well, they're just denying that it's a sunny day outside. Like, what's the point? We can't trust them on anything.
But the prosecution had an incredibly powerful.
They had a strong case. They had a strong case. Again, legally it was novel, but it was a strong case. But the other thing is and I've read many, many opinions about this. They said that typically in cases like this, the side that wins is the one that has the more compelling and more straightforward narrative, right? Mm-hmm. And the prosecution had a very simple narrative. Trump covered up the hush money to influence the election. And here's all the evidence that this happened. The prosecution had no competing narrative. They had no simple narrative that, they had the elements were there, like Cohen's lying to get revenge against Trump, whatever. But again, they diluted it in denying everything, right? And so they didn't focus on that alternative narrative. And so the jury was just left with, we have this clean, simple, compelling and narrative that makes sense over here, and just complete and utter mess and hatchet job on the other side.
Well, the narrative was mainly Cohen's a liar. He's a known liar. But the problem is that Cohen wasn't critical to the case. They had evidence out the yin yang, and that was so clear and obvious. And Cohen just kind of brought it together. They didn't really need him. The evidence was compelling as hell.
For a lot of the pieces of the case. Yeah. Not every piece. He did establish that he knew about certain things. And so, again, even before the conviction, I read one attorney who was speculating that if you throw out, there was a certain number of counts that really did depend on Cohen, you could throw those. Maybe the jury will find him innocent on those, but guilty on all the ones that did not require Cohen's testimony. Or some were speculating that they might find him innocent on the checks that the kids signed, but not the ones that he signed or whatever. But clearly they decided that Trump caused all of this to happen. Like, this was all at his ultimate behest. Were it not for Trump, this would not have happened. And again, none of us were listening to testimony throughout this trial, so we don't know every little thing that was said. But those 12 jurors did. Did you know that 2 of the jurors were lawyers?
Mm-mm.
I thought that's interesting.
Yeah. I heard one of them gets most of his news from Truth Social.
Oh,
I think. I mean,
really?
Yeah, one of them clearly would have been one that I would have been like, well, there's no way he's going to vote guilty. But I think that's how compelling the evidence was, assuming that was true.
I don't know about that. I heard that the jury selection was very well done.
Is there a reason why this wasn't a federal case or tried in a federal court?
Well, the defense attorneys could have requested a change of venue to a federal case.
I thought they did.
They did want to change a venue, though.
Yeah,
well, not change of venue, a change from state court to federal court. But apparently they did not request that, or whatever, or it didn't meet the criteria. You have to meet certain criteria. Right. In order to say this is a federal case. You have to make a federal case out of it. I remember in my case when I was getting sued, by the asshole, that we wanted it to be in federal court because it was a much better venue for defending a libel case. And you don't want to roll the dice in state court because you have no idea who you can get some appointed or some elected judge who's whatever that's it, doesn't know what they're doing. But right, like you can get like that Florida judge who's doing one of Trump's other cases. So
the security document.
Yeah. So we made sure, my attorney made sure that the other guy that he said, really is only one thing I need to establish in the when we took his deposition. Like he just basically said, there's really nothing that I need from him in deposition because he doesn't have a case. But I want to make absolutely sure he cannot change this to state, that he cannot push to have this tried in state court. And so we need to establish 2 things. Like one was the amount of the harm he was claiming and something else. So he got those 2 things. Like everything else was just noise around, just to conceal that those are the things he was interested in. But that's it. So that's part of the strategy in a case is trying to figure out what venue would be better for your side. So I don't know the details of why this wasn't made into a federal case. It may not have qualified, but it was brought by the New York DA. So it was by default a state case.
The bookkeeping part of it is the state statute, but didn't they have to? I thought they had to bring in the federal part of it in order to elevate it to.
Well, it was a federal election, but I don't know that does that.
But there's a Federal Election Commission, an FEC, that also is supposed to be in charge of this kind of stuff. Why aren't they the ones pressing this charge? I've never really understood that.
The false records were supposedly done by a New York corporation.
Yeah, it was all New York, all the actual crimes. Yeah,
right, but misdemeanors.
Mm-hmm.
For those bookkeeping charges is at the state level. This was my understanding, but
right.
What I'm not a lawyer. There's a lot of this stuff I just don't understand.
We're now getting
too deep into
the weeds.
Yeah,
it's a good time to pivot to some non.
Yes.
Let's do it. Pivot.
But anybody asking in the chat that said whether or not he can vote, he can still vote. Technically,
can he vote?
He can vote.
It depends on state by state.
No, but Florida he can't for what happened. But
only if he. No, not even that. So Florida honors if you're convicted of a felony in a different state. Florida honors the rules of that state. New York only allows, New York only disallows convicted felons when they're incarcerated. You can vote if you're a convicted felon if you're outside of jail.
If you're not in jail.
Technically vote.
Yeah.
Vote. There is a thing though in Florida if he was convicted. It's some weird legal term where he can beg forgiveness of the governor.
Mm-hmm.
And chat, you probably know it.
Governors have a lot of power in their states.
Yeah, I forget what it's called. It's not mea culpa. It's like something weird.
The hole on Mars. What's that? Has anybody seen
The hole on Mars.
Yeah,
What?
they found is at a high elevation. It was, I think, but it was just this basically. It looks like the opening, its mouth to a
The
pit.
sinkhole.
Whoa.
They think it could be a lot. It could be a lava
What are
tube.
you
barnacle.
sinking?
It could be a sinkhole. It could be different things. They're not
Lava
sure.
tube would be nice. Yeah, opening
It
to a lava tube.
It
But
could
the
be a
thing is, it would-
sarlacc.
If it was on Mars,
Sarlacc pit.
it would be actually. It could potentially be very big because of the low
mysterious
gravity
hole.
on Mars.
Just
Yeah.
looks
There's
like
a whole
barnacle.
there's a whole
Barnacle.
pseudoscience around holes. I think didn't we talk
What?
about it recently, Steve? Like the
Mhm.
holes,
Solo science.
right? And people
And if you listen very closely,
So
you can
many-
hear screams coming from the hole.
exactly the screams and the people and the golem lives down there and all that stuff.
That's volcanic plane. That's thousands.
Okay, it
of
could be a lava
kilometers.
tube, though.
Yeah, but if that therefore that
Pretty
makes
cool.
a lava tube.
Zoom.
Build a
Perfectly
base in
circular
there.
it is. Almost looks like
something in
alien.
there.
I think aliens dug that. It's
This is
too
what they
perfect.
think. Boop,
Yeah.
boop. Yep.
Well, that's probably a pimple on the face of Mars.
That's right. Mars is she's going through puberty.
Dr. Pimple Popper.
Mars is going
That's
through
a
puberty.
gross show.
Ah,
by the way.
hey, solar system.
I don't know why anyone watches that show.
Awesome. So anyway, so that's cool. Yeah, so send something in there. What the heck?
Yeah, we
right.
definitely should.
Just
Drop-
fetal
Drop
line.
something in there.
Keep going.
Ian, do we have any crazy videos to watch?
Oh God, do we? Yeah, we do have a couple things. Let's jump to that. We could watch. Well, do you guys realize the scale of our universe?
It's big.
Yes.
It's pretty big.
It's really
Let's
big.
watch- Yeah, it's
Oh, it's
really,
it's like whoa, like that.
Really big.
And it doesn't get bigger than that.
95, was it 95 billion light years across?
Is that it?
And
Are you thinking of the
best
song?
estimate could be larger.
You thinking of the Eric Idle song?
No.
Okay. Never mind. Okay, fine. Let's see if this thing. It's a little long. I'm going to skip around to.
Yeah, we don't-
There's some parts
and
that.
that means the stars are hardscapes. It's all on easy. Is the Colorado.
I speed
In
walk.
fact, all of the stars that we
So
can
this
see
is
in
the-
the night sky
yeah.
would only stretch as far as
I
the
think the
city lights
galaxy-
of Denver.
Yeah, it's the size of.
I see.
So how big would we be? How big is the sun on this huge scale? Well, on a scale where the galaxy we live in is the diameter of America,
Voice sounds
the
artificial.
sun would be about this big. So that's already completely crazy, but it doesn't end there. Because I'm not standing on a hill here. On a scale where the Milky Way is the size of the United States, our giant sun would easily fit between the ridges of the fingerprint on the tips of our fingers.
Whose finger?
It's true.
It would be half the size of a red blood cell.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Our
pretty.
galaxy is
Pretty big.
astonishingly large.
Pretty big.
I've shrunk myself down 50,000 times to be this size.
It's just a
This-
galaxy.
Is a single grain of sand in comparison.
How big is the galaxy in
It's
that
taken
scenario?
me 2 minutes
United
to walk
States.
Yeah, the U.S.
United States.
Yeah, I love those scale things. It really
Yeah, kind of.
puts things into perspective.
Uh-huh.
And then, I mean, he walks over the finger and he's like going to the different planets, which is kind of cool.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting little conceptual thing. I mean,
Well,
it's hard to
I
imagine.
like to think it's whatever you think it is. You're so far off. It's not even
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
You really, you
brain's
have to
not
you stretch
evolved
your
to grok
imagination,
that.
and then that doesn't even come close.
What
I
I
like
like,
the-
there's a video.
Comparing star sizes?
No, I mean, yes, there's
I like that one.
Our
one.
sizes aren't.
I like
everything, Bob.
the factor of 10 one where you keep pulling out. But there's
Yeah.
also one that kind of blew me away was you start at the sun and then you travel at the speed of light away from the sun past each of the planets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Takes a while.
And so you get a sense of how fast you're moving when you see how quickly things fly by.
But then you can't tell.
And then, yeah, but the thing is, but then you say, "Oh, that's how fast we're going," and then you keep going, and keep going. You realize how big the solar system is. Like even at the speed of light, it's like you have to travel for a long time to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Just it gives you a sense of how big the solar system is.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah, I mean,
Also,
the speed of light is not that fast.
the
when
speed of
you're
light
on
is
the
not
scale.
that fast.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. We think of light as being super fast. Like, wouldn't the Earth go whizzing by? It's like, no, it wouldn't, because it's really big. It's like you're not moving that fast. It's fast, but I mean, it's slower than you would imagine the speed of light to be. And I think it's partly because of science fiction movies. And you realize that, oh yeah, a lot of science fiction movies have ships going faster than light, even when they're not supposed to be. Like, they just have the scale wrong.
All the time.
So it distorts our perceptions of like how fast the speed of light is. It's actually on a planetary scale, it's slower than you think. Right?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah, we're bad at
Yeah.
We're floating. We're a dust mite floating in a ray of sun.
Barely. Maybe. There's a probability that we are a dust.
Yeah.
That's how small we are. It's a probability.
Like another sort of scale one is if two galaxies merge,
Mm-hmm.
the probability of two suns colliding is the same as the probability of two gnats colliding in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I bet it's happened.
The dust collides. Oh yeah, the dust collides. Faux show.
And new sons are born out of that, presumably, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep, all according to the plan.
So, do you guys eat activated charcoal?
No.
Or you're not really into that whole?
It doesn't really go
Don't
good
you?
with peanut butter.
Isn't that a remedy for people who have like overdosed on
Yes.
things? You shove charcoal into them.
Yes, that is a treatment for certain overdoses.
Yeah.
Really?
For most overdoses. I've given it to people. I've never had it myself.
Is it a
Like
liquid?
in a tube or in a
You have to chew on it.
liquid? Or
No.
What
It's
is
just
it?
We put a tube down their
Unwrap
nose
it?
and squirt it in. It's like an emulsion in a fluid. Do
they throw up then?
Do they add like an orange burst to it to allow
Orange
or
flavor.
are you just eating like choking down charcoal?
Again, we
taste
put a tube down into your stomach
Yeah.
and we
so
squirt it down.
so it avoids all the taste.
And then do you suck it all out?
It comes back up.
and then we suck it all out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
All right,
you-
well, I guess that's good.
Some of it goes through the other way too.
So what's special about charcoal?
Yeah.
It attracts.
it's really
the-
good at absorbing chemicals. So it just
Yeah.
absorbs all the toxins in the stomach.
Isn't that
Okay.
remarkable? Charcoal of all things.
My dog got it once. So you guys remember Murray, right? Murray was a
Murray, the
Yes,
dachshund.
absolutely.
miniature long-haired dachshund, very cute.
Oh,
So-
Murray, Miss Murray.
He loved his Uncle Bob to death.
He did.
Everyone loves Uncle Bob to death.
So
Yeah.
one day, walk
you-
in the bedroom, and there he is. Actually, I think my wife found him, and I was at work. I'm like working as an intern, in DC. And I got a call. He got into her medication and ate an unknown number of pills.
Mhm.
And
Oh,
yeah, there he
no.
is.
Oh no.
And he was not looking good. He was like, So we had to take him to the doggy ER. I met them there when I was able to leave work, and they gave him activated charcoal,
there
to
you go.
absorb whatever had not been already been absorbed into his system. And he had to give him intravenous and everything. He did fine, but yeah, that was the one time anybody that I knew, any teacher that I knew had to get.
Organism you knew had to consume charcoal.
Yeah, I've given it to patients though.
Well, Ian, what do you have on charcoal? Why'd you bring this?
Okay, so the reason I brought it up is because it seems to be something that some people on TikTok, of course,
Oh
are
God, is it a TikTok challenge?
recommending. This guy.
If I ever ate something that doesn't agree with me, if it really doesn't agree with me, the first thing I reach for is activated charcoal. Everyone should have a bottle of activated charcoal at home. It's cheap and it's a wonderful thing to put into your stomach when you're feeling off and you don't know what it is. You ate something or the bacteria got hold of, they're winning the battle against you or something. Take some activated charcoal. And it attracts anything that's harmful and poisonous to it, and you expel it. It is wonderful. If you think you had food poisoning, put 2 or 3 pills of activated charcoal in you and watch what happens. You'll feel better in a half an hour, in an hour. It's a simple trick I learned a long time ago.
Anyway, so there's a,
Sounds like a home remedy kind
so
of
there's some
advice.
science
Yeah.
behind it. Seems like, but who
Yeah.
knows if that particular recommendation holds water. More or less.
Never
used it
heard
for
it
that.
recommended.
Yeah.
I What an active mean? Why activated? What's active? What
I don't
as
know.
opposed to charcoal?
As opposed to just regular.
Right? What's the difference?
What is the activated in activated
Yeah,
charcoal?
right? Is that just a way to charge $3 more a pill for it or something?
It's moon activated. That's specific.
Positive vibes.
So activated charcoal is charcoal that has been treated with oxygen at very high temperatures to make it porous.
Mhm.
So it might be
Oh.
similar to what you actually use in the hospital.
Surface
right?
area. It's all about
Yeah,
surface
just to
area.
like absorb more stuff. But I guess how much of the stuff did you use maybe in the hospital as opposed to what he's recommending with like a pill or two?
We would give a lot.
A lot. So
Oh
you
yeah,
see-
if you're in the emergency room because you took a poison, then yeah, that's not like, oh, I feel a little off,
yeah.
because they were trying to keep them
Yeah.
from dying.
So maybe they're So
It doesn't work for all kinds of poisons. It doesn't work for petroleum-based poisons, alcohol-based poisons. Doesn't work for caustic, alkali-based
Ooh.
poisons. Doesn't. I don't think it works for food poisoning. It does work for like a lot of medications. Would be the thing that we mainly use it for. You know what you do? You call poison control.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you do. That's what they're there for.
And
And
then
they'll tell you. And the other thing you can have at home is, I mean, it might not be a horrible idea to have a few pills of activated charcoal at home if you know what you're doing, or if you call poison control and they say, "Do you have any activated charcoal at home?" Take that. But the other thing to have is Ipecac. Ipecac makes you throw up. That's another way to expel bad stuff, that you don't want in your stomach. Although you should not. No, you should not use hydrogen peroxide.
That's bad.
You don't drink that. That's topical only.
Yeah.
But you use Ipecac. Do not use Ipecac if somebody ingested something caustic, because you don't want that to come back up and burn your esophagus a second time.
Steve, how about for animals? Because Molly, my dog Molly, ate desiccants one day, and the vet said, make her puke, use hydrogen peroxide.
Maybe, I don't know. We don't do it in people. We give them Ipecac.
Okay.
Yeah.
So FYI, getting her to swallow the hydrogen peroxide was very difficult until I hit upon the idea is you get it into a little squeegee thing, a little, what do you call it? Not a needle, but
syringe, and you put it in her cheeks on the side and squeeze, and they'll automatically swallow it. It was very easy once I did that, but getting her to just drink it otherwise was like not gonna happen. Yeah, someone wrote mustard makes them throw up. Mustard also makes me throw up.
Oh, I like mustard.
Mustard is the most horrible tasting thing on the planet.
Now you said it was a poison before.
It is a poison. It is
But
literally
in what way?
a poison. Obviously the dose makes the poison, but it is derived from the mustard plant, which is part of a family of plants that are poison. We just basically figured out how to use this poison in a small enough dose to add as a spice.
Yes.
Without it having
So
negative
what?
effects.
So what do you put on a hot dog?
That's almost
Nothing.
meaningless.
Wait, not even ketchup?
No, I don't put anything on a hot dog.
Okay, Steve.
Steve, what do you inject? What do you inject into people, Steve?
No, Bob. I know what you're
poison.
saying. I agree. As I said, the dose makes the poison.
Right. So then
I'm just being
Just a
funny
little.
when I say it's a poison, but
I
it
know.
is technically a poison.
Apparently, also some people
everything's
think
a poison.
Yeah, Bob, you got
Well, if you want to be technical.
Water
Steve,
is
would you
poison.
Steve, would you eat a plastic container of yellow mustard for $1 million?
God,
no.
the container.
Oh hell, I would.
For $1 million dollars.
Yeah,
Ask George Traub
I
that.
couldn't get it down.
Ask George Traub that question. He hates yellow.
Would you eat a
mustard,
bucket of
yeah,
shit
yellow
for $1 million?
mustard.
$1 million, Jay.
How
Let
big
me
is the
think
bucket?
about
Maybe.
it. Well,
Depends on
bucket
the
is a
shit.
lot bigger than a goddamn container.
Depends who
Depends
dealt it.
and booze.
Okay, the answer is yes. I would eat a bucket of shit for $1 million.
How big the bucket? Okay.
But you've got to finish the whole thing.
Oh,
I can
no.
do it.
I would do
You
it.
say that.
You just
you
say
say
that.
that.
Inflation.
I would absolutely do it.
You're right.
Really,
Steve, you should
only
do it.
because nobody specified how much time I had. I would do it
That's true.
over a month.
Yeah, but you don't get the money until
You got to do it over a day.
Oh, now you say that.
Yeah, that's
Why would you want
Closing
to
that
stretch
loophole.
out that torture over a month?
That would get you very sick too. You'd really. That could kill you.
It depends how little the amount. You eat a little bit, you wouldn't even know it.
Okay. Except you'd know it. But...
Do you have a game for us today?
Very minute
Yes,
amount.
we do have a couple other videos that we could.
All
All
right,
right, let's
sure.
watch those.
We go deal with that. I did see a thing on.
Let me know when you're going to
Reddit.
mine, Ian, because I'm gonna call up my notes.
Okay, yeah, we'll bring that. I did see a thing on Reddit. I can't find it anymore, but people were claiming that mustard is or mustard gas is a derivative from mustard, and I was like, that's pretty much not true.
Sharon
I was
wrote,
like,
"Let's go back to politics."
Yeah, let's go
Yes, something less
Lord,
unpleasant.
Lord. All right, here we go. So,
Patreon challenge.
Oh, here we go. The
So-
mustard challenge.
saunas are popular in
Sure they
the
are.
Nordic countries, but did they make your brain better? Are they an effective detox for your brain? Let's see
Oh
what
my
this
gosh.
guy has to
Detox.
say.
The studies, mostly from Northern Europe, people who take the most saunas have the lowest incidence of Alzheimer's disease.
This is true. Using the sauna has been shown to decrease your risk of dementia, and there is research to support. The study was done on about 1,400 people from Finland, and they were followed up about 39 years later. It was found that those who use a sauna for 9 to 12 times per month, for an average of 5 to 15 minutes per session, were less likely to develop dementia later in life. It was also found the most favorable temperature to reduce your risk of dementia was between
What a
80 to
transition.
99 degrees Celsius, and if
Celsius.
it was over 100 degrees Celsius, this would actually increase your risk of dementia. So make sure you're paying attention to what the temperature is set at if you do use the sauna. The main mechanism for why using a sauna may help is because they
100
release
degrees
what is called
Celsius,
heat shock protein, which can help regulate cell function and protein formation, maintaining protein homeostasis in your brain. It will also help maintain adequate blood flow to your brain by decreasing your risk of hypertension and cardiovascular disease. Let me know if you also use the sauna and follow to
Yeah.
And that directly conflicts with the Winhoff people, right? Who go into the ice bath.
Ice.
You know, apparently they're going to all have dementia. if
Oh
that's
no,
the
it's
case.
going to be a war of the cold
cold
people and
versus
the hot
heat,
people.
heat versus cold.
I mean, I see something like that, and like red flags go up, but I don't know, right? Like
What- is
I
that
wouldn't
heat
even-
mechanism? I was waiting
No,
for him
the-
to get to the mechanism.
The
part.
mechanism that is just all speculative. The evidence is very weak. There's very what I would consider to be preliminary evidence.
There's a lot of other things that you could do that we know will help. So don't waste your time.
What temperature? What do you say? 90 degrees Celsius?
I've never had a
It's
good
up to
experience in a sauna.
100.
I've never
No.
had a good experience.
100 is
Saunas.
boiling. Apparently, saunas
How are you
are
supposed
not
to do
at-
that?
Apparently, saunas go up to like 90 on the regular, right? And
Celsius?
yes, and close to 100, but 100 is pretty hot.
How do you tolerate? How do you not burn? I don't get that.
I don't think you burn. It's just hot. Up to 99 C. Yeah. So that 1 C higher, and your brain will melt.
Okay.
I can confidently say that I will never go into a sauna for the rest of my life.
Really? Why? You don't like the dry or the wet
Oh, they
saunas?
suck. They suck.
Really?
Saunas are horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah.
I went into them in Alaska. It was fun. It was
I
interesting.
don't know what they're doing. Yeah,
it
it's
was
just kind of
fun.
sure.
Like 120.
Going into a hot room with a bunch of people
That's
wearing
like
a towel
45
to me
Celsius,
is not my idea.
90
of a good time.
Celsius. Holy crumbs. Though. Who the heck wants to go hang out in 190 degree Fahrenheit temperature? What's that?
Yeah, it seems like I don't know, maybe just
unusual.
tradition of those Nordics and what they get up to, perhaps more than.
Oh my God. Olivia
That's it.
said German ones are horrible because you go in naked.
Well,
See,
yeah.
I'm at the age now where I don't even want to see myself naked. So yeah, I will not be going into any German saunas.
Luckily, I need glasses, so I just take those off.
Yeah, just
before I
take them
go into the sauna. So, don't know what I'm saying.
All right, what else
okay.
you got? Ian?
Well, so we do have a fun one from Evan.
Oh gosh!
Evan.
Can I tell the
Who?
backstory before you show this?
Sure, please. Yes.
So the reason
Sure.
why we're going to watch this in just a second, and I'll give you an explanation on what it is because I was speaking with my friend Celeste. You all know Celeste, right? It's Perry's sister, and I was talking with her the other week, and she was telling me she has a 14-year-old son. His name's Max. Max was telling Celeste this. Max says to Celeste, "I don't get Gen Alpha." Right, and this is a 14-year-old saying that he doesn't understand the 10-year-old basically generate. He's just beyond right Gen Alpha, and so well, what do you mean? And it's because of this video we're about to watch, and he says, I just don't get it. Like, I can't understand. This is a 14-year-old person who's saying this, that he doesn't understand what we're about to watch. And the reply that Celeste gave to her son is that, well, you're just getting old. Right? It was the funny thing. But we're going to watch this for a second, and then I'm going to talk about it because I looked up some facts here on Wikipedia regarding it. So you can roll that whenever you want.
All right, let me full screen it just to get.
Maybe some of you know this, Steve, Bob, Jay. I have no idea if you know what this is, because I did not know this before Celeste brought it up.
Yeah, this is the copyright-free version, so I don't. Hopefully, they're not playing the actual song that they normally play.
Well, I mean, you want to
it's
skip
fine. It's
forward?
a little bit of a. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. All right. Enough. All right. No, we're not subscribing.
Subscribe to nothing except this show.
There we go.
Wanna see you work your body. Everybody put up their hands.
This is actually an interesting. It's a long one. It's not the specific.
That's
little
fine.
ones, but go ahead.
The name of this show, it's a YouTube series apparently, Skibidi Toilet, a web series created by Alexei Gerasimov and uploaded on his YouTube channal Dafuk or Dafuk. Dafuk Boom. Produced using Source Filmmaker, the series follows a fictional war between human-headed toilets and humanoid characters with electronic devices for heads.
Mm-hmm.
Since the first short was posted in February 2023, Skibidi Toilet has become viral as an internet meme across various social media platforms, particularly popularized by Generation Alpha. Now, here, I want to read to you the stats. By November 2023, I only learned about this a couple weeks ago, YouTube videos associated with Skibidi Toilet accumulated over 65 billion views. And on the social media platform TikTok, Skibidi Toilet hashtag trending comprised 15.3 billion views. The channel, this was back in December 2022, amassed 37 million subscribers and surpassed growth of Mr. Beast. It's the second most subscribed channel on YouTube. So, okay. So here's my thing. I got two things. How are we supposed to compete with that? I mean, science and education and learning and so many, and then here's this Gen Alpha phenomena insanity, basically getting more hits and views than Mr. Beast of all things.
Yep.
Right. So what are we doing wrong? I mean,
nothing. We're not meant to compete with that. We're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah, the bottom line
you understand
here
what
is
I'm getting at? Like,
little kids like this crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares what little kids like?
No, but
it's 30 freaking 65 billion views.
Yeah, I mean, it is a phenomenon, Bob. There is something going on here. You know what I mean? Like for people to like this kind of content. I mean, I could see like my son watching this for 15 seconds, laughing at it, and moving on to the next thing.
Well, the guy does pump it out. This is not the only one. There's a series of them.
Yeah, but there's a lot of these. Which is crazy. I know, but isn't like almost everything kind of slipping into that category? Like there's so much I'm
afraid
get.
It is.
This might be the shit icing on the shit cake, but think about it. There's so much going on online that people watch that, oh, look at that. Jesus Christ.
Right? I mean, how do you...
I just don't like shit like this.
It's funny because it is several layers also of meme going on, because this is the characters are from Gary's Mod, which is a video game that was very popular. Skibidi is this guy from Turkey, this like big guy that's like just dances to the song Skibidi. And then it's also the Nelly Furtado song, I think, in the background that it's blended with. We ain't heard to hurt nobody. And they also play that other song. I guess I don't put it in here. They don't put it in here. Like Everybody Wants to Rule the World is when the camera guys come out. They usually play Everybody Wants to Rule the World. That's like their song. So like it is meme culture gone crazy, like spiraled in on itself, and Ouroboros of itself. So
yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because we make content that we want people to watch to help people, right? To do some good in the world where it desperately needs it. And this is just one of millions of different videos out there that people make that are complete and utter waste of time. Ian and I are might need therapy after watching TikTok for a year and a half, because the shit that we see is so depressingly weird and completely useless. It's useless.
We should just do a skibidi, the earth is round, skibidi.
And it's one thing, okay, a creative outlet, whatever. Okay, it's fine, and fun amongst your friends and families, and have a couple thousand hits or 10,000 hits or what. But how is this bigger than Mr. Beast?
I don't know. Ed, that's a great question.
And that's a lot. I mean, Mr. Beast also pumps
defies
me.
It defies me. And it defies a 14-year-old boy who also, I'm an old man, fine. Not forget my opinion, but a 14-year-old is saying that
it's beyond him.
I don't get this.
And the thing about it is that nothing really happens in the video. It just is a repeat of the same exact theme over and over and over again.
Supposedly there's a plot, I didn't watch.
There's a lot. There is a story though. I mean, the guy is creating, because obviously the guy creating it is probably a millennial or a Gen Xer or something like that. It's not created. It's always like the generation after that's creating it for generation 4 or whatever, right? So he is doing it from an adult perspective, but with the knowledge, I guess, that it is for kids, and so it makes it goofy. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes you dick around it, you just.
So we need a skeptical equivalent of Skibidi Toilet. We have to come up with a character and do crazy crap with it.
The thing is, the people that are attracted to learning, the people that are attracted to critical thinking and science and learning and everything, we're the oddballs. We're not what most people are. That's just the way.
But I want to capture the 10-year-old mind as well.
I hear you. Me too, man. Me too. It's not like we haven't talked about it.
Yeah,
but that is the effed up reality check here, is that the fact that could entertain so many people, even though they're young, doesn't matter. The fact that that can entertain them. What? Billions, Bob.
Billions.
How many?
Well, 65 billion views for the
65.
65 billion over the whole series, basically. I think there's 74 episodes.
But it doesn't mean, it means that a certain number of people have been watching it on repeat, basically.
Oh, certainly.
Well, sure. Absolutely. I mean, yes. I mean,
of course.
It has to
nothing, be. And what did Mark Twain say? And the twain shall never meet, whatever. You can't.
East is east and west is west.
Kids that are watching that. Well, look, my son might watch it. Okay. Let me make you feel a little bit better.
All right, please.
My son, my 11-year-old son, he's never said it to me. I've never heard of this freaking thing before. I'm really happy about that. But the point is, he is fascinated with science, and I was talking to Bob about this. I was teaching him about orbital mechanics. He's 11, and you know what I mean. So he does have the other things that we want kids to have, and I think a lot of kids have that. When his friends come over, I talk to them about science. And see what their interest is. And most of them have some type of baseline interest. They're all interested in magic. All the good stuff is there. So yeah, these kids are growing up in a world where memes and multimedia and this kind of shit is out there, and it's sinking in, and it's part of their reality in a way that it's not part of our reality. And there's nothing we could do about it. It is what it is, man.
I will say that you may take some solace that the meme has already died. So this is Stephen Colbert recently.
Skibidi Biden.
There you go.
Skibidi Biden. Skibidi Biden.
So, I mean,
Hitler's language. Trump is using Hitler's language. Hitler's language.
Yeah.
Trump is using Hitler's language.
All right,
There you go.
It's already dead. It's
say any more of this, I'm going to drive to your house.
We jumped the shark.
The shark has been put to, I don't know, execute.
Oh gosh!
I'll give you one thing for
human
the
race
and the Zoomers. If you can comprehend what this is, what this MDS chatter is saying, I will say, chatter, you forgot to put phantom tax. Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
You have no idea what that is. Yeah. Ohio Skibidi Riz Gyat. and then
Yeah,
phantom tax at the
There's a-
end. You would normally say.
there's a whole language.
Not normally. Yes.
So-
this
It's
is
a language.
this is like Twitch and TikTok culture kind of.
insane.
Yeah. Riz out. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter.
So what I do is I steer my kids away as best I can from the content that I don't like, that I think is not good. Like this. If they were watching that, I would be like, I would shame them a little bit. And then I would try to entice them with something else. I mean,
I agree, man. But
and
it's like-
and the thing that scares me, Ev, the most when I see that is that I am sure adults are watching it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I hate
I'm
to
sure of
admit
that.
that I have watched.
Yeah, Ian. I knew you would know what that
because
was.
I like the production of
are.
it. I like that. I'm looking at what the guy is doing. I think it's funny because it's so bizarre. I like the kind of like.
Yeah, but
bizarre-
not for
but
but
you
for
know how,
longer
like,
than 10
SpongeBob-
seconds though. Like,
Like,
yeah,
you know how cartoonists would also do stuff for adults embedded in the cartoons
course.
really made
Yeah,
for
yes,
children. So there's
yeah.
something in it that I find is like, okay, he's kind of winking, but
Mhm.
you know,
yeah, but I don't want to watch that guy wink for more than 10 seconds. I got it. Got it. Heads coming out of toilets and urinals,
Right.
singing a really
Tell me you'll
really
ever
bad
look at a
song.
toilet
Got
again
it.
the same way.
Got it.
Okay.
It just
so-
makes me want to go and listen to Led Zeppelin under the covers in my bedroom. Like that video makes me
hide
wanna
from
do.
the world. I
I want to
agree.
pretend that there's still that vibe out there in the world.
Are any of you watching the new season of Doctor Who?
no.
Yeah.
I am not.
Is the new Doctor out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I haven't.
Who
watched
is it?
What's the actor's name? I forget. He
new
was-
Doctor Who. I forget his name.
I heard it wasn't doing well, but then I heard there was some good.
I think the
episodes.
previous.
No, the episodes are mostly good. There was a couple bizarre ones up front. They went.
Nkuti Gatwa. Is that his name?
Yeah, the last couple of episodes are good. The one from last week I thought was the best one so far.
So Tennant came back for a hot second, right?
He came back for a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And he announced he's never going to be doing Doctor Who again, which I
Yeah.
think is
Why is that?
Because he's done. He wants to move on.
Okay.
Doesn't he have another season of that
You want to get tagged
show
back in the industry.
I don't know.
Dark and Evil? What is that? Where he
Good
was-
Omens. Good Omens
Good
is
Omens.
good.
Yes.
Good.
I don't know if there's going to be another season of Good Omens. That was a funny show.
Yeah, that was really funny. He's awesome. He's like one of the best.
My wife and I did Good Omens as our couples.
You got the picture on
Dragon
that,
Con
Steve?
costume.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. That's
Yeah, I
good.
saw the picture.
I don't
It
have
was
it
good.
on me.
It was good.
All right,
Whack.
Evan,
Yeah, he was in section.
hit us with the quiz.
Yeah, Jeopardy. Okay, so Ian, I got to share my screen. Hold on one second.
bud.
Oh, this technical.
Was it pronounced
stuff.
Shooty? Is that really? Or is that just his nickname? Anyway, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let
You
me
can share
do
that.
that. Share
away.
that.
Bloop. There we go. And
Okay.
there it is.
So this was from a game called Word Traveler, and I
Yeah.
took those two words itself and made two categories out of it: word and travel. But also we
Okay.
have points of interest and grab bag, which is random. But the other categories, I hope, are self-explanatory.
Okay.
Let me call up the game. We had a great game last time. It was so close. I
It
think
was fun.
everyone was neck and neck. You guys are doing great with Jeopardy. So let's throw it out to, I don't know, Bob. I'm going to let
Let's throw it.
you choose the first category.
Word for
Olivia said-
400.
Word for
Everyone
400.
shouting.
Confused or unintelligible mixture of seemingly random
Word
words
salad.
and phrases. Hold the
Word
dress name.
salad.
Word salad.
There you go.
Yeah, very good.
You bastard.
Ian.
You bastard. All right, let's go crazy. Let's go travel for 800.
All
Travel
right.
800. 2023, it was the most traveled to country by tourists, boasting 80 million.
Egypt.
Not Egypt.
The America.
United States.
Not the United States.
What was popping in 2023? Australia?
France.
It is France, Steve.
Oh,
Good job, Steve.
we come from France.
Word for 200.
According to that obnoxious song.
Bird.
Bird.
Ian got it.
Come
Oh
on.
my God. I am like, my brain is on.
Come on, man.
Got me by nanosecond.
Points of interest 800.
Okay. The French Quarter.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
I mean,
more-
the
more
New Orleans.
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans. New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Yeah,
Steve gets New
Got
Orleans.
it.
Doing well with the 800s there,
Orleans.
Steve.
How you
Yeah, but
doing,
you
Bob?
pronounced it weird.
Word,
Yeah,
word
small.
for 600.
You like nice, neat rows, Steve. I
I
can
know,
tell. You
just
don't like
trying.
jumping all over the place. New York Times puzzle
Wordle.
game. That was
Doing
for
it.
you, Steve.
That's New York Times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Get
bought
over it.
800.
Quantity or amount of words in a document.
Word
Word
count.
count.
Oh, who said that, Jay?
I did.
It was
They got
pretty.
I
yeah,
thought that was a
it
tie. But you
pretty-
can give it,
it
you
was-
can give it to Jay. You can give it to Jay.
I heard Steve finish. When I stopped talking, I heard Steve finish the word count.
But I started before I heard you start.
I couldn't tell.
All right.
It was close.
We'll
You
save
want
it for next time.
400?
You
You want
can
each
investigate,
All
Chatter.
right.
Chatters will investigate.
All
for you.
right, Jay.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll take word for 1,000.
Finishing. A writer or speaker who uses words pretending.
Wordsmith.
Oh, I'm
Word-
sorry. Wordmonger.
Oh,
With
Nobody got it.
Carolyn.
We were both wrong, so it doesn't
Carolyn.
matter who said it first.
Nobody gets it.
yeah, wordsmith would be good, right? Wordmonger.
Yeah, word
Bad.
mongers.
Which is a term I'd not heard before.
No.
Yeah, that's a rare one.
Should I
yeah.
pick again?
Sure, Jay.
Travel for 200.
Trams and subways are two types of this
Train
way-
travel.
Mass
Public
transit?
transport.
It is train.
Train.
Okay, very good. Or rail. I would have accepted rail.
Rail. 400.
Real.
Travel. An over-the-counter medication used to treat motion sickness and nausea.
What do you call that?
Benadryl.
Dramamine.
Dramamine.
Dang it.
Grandma.
I even
Oh,
have it.
Charcoal.
Good job,
Stay
Steve.
for
Activated charcoal.
VR.
Good job,
That's what
Doc.
it's for.
Travel
Yeah.
for 600.
600.
In the 1960s and 1970s, you were warned on
Jeez.
commercials.
American Express.
Don't leave home without them. What
Credit
are
card.
they? No, the category is travel.
Traveler's checks.
Traveler's checks.
Jay, I think you
Oh,
snuck
shit.
in and
Oh my
stole it
gosh.
from Steve.
Travelers.
Right
But they
there.
were by American Express.
They were by American
Yeah.
Express.
Kids.
Yes. That's why they
Travelers
spell
checks.
them funny like
It's
that.
11
all
p.m. Do you know where your kids are?
I will.
Don't leave home
I will
without.
pick travel
Home
for
without your
1,000.
kids.
Here we go. Finishing travel.
Mhm.
Paladin was the name of the lead character in this popular Western-themed TV show in America
Come on.
from 1957 to 1963. The category is
Gunsmoke.
travel.
It's a gunslinger, or was
The
it?
cat-
Have
Category
gun will
is-
travel. Have gun will travel.
Very
There
good.
you go.
Wow.
Way to pull it
Yeah.
out, old
It's
man.
never even heard of that.
Well, there you go. Paladin.
We'll travel.
All right.
Points of interest 200.
200.
The Golden Gate Bridge.
San Francisco
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I was like, what?
400.
The Strip.
Las
Las
Vegas.
Vegas.
Ian got it.
Ian got it.
Las Vegas.
Can't get it. I know. Your brain thinks of it, and then you have to command your mouth and
please.
just say it.
Yeah.
It takes-
Do the thing. 600.
Say it. The Great
Giza.
Pyramid.
Egypt.
Giza?
Giza.
Great Pyramid of
Steve.
Giza, yeah. I love it.
1,000.
Okay. The Zocalo.
Babylon 5.
Nope.
Italy.
Nope.
Portugal.
Nope.
Spain.
Peru.
Brazil.
No one's got it yet.
Mexico.
Who's
It's
got it?
Babylon 5.
Venezuela.
Colombia.
Got it in chat. Let's see. No one yet in
Bermuda.
chat. Nobody's
Babylon
got it.
5.
Uruguay. Spain. Any
Just give it
Spanish
to me.
country.
No one's got it in chat
Chile.
yet. Come on.
Chile. Ecuador.
I haven't heard
Portugal.
it.
Portugal.
Mozambique.
No,
Points
it's
for
not
Kenya.
creativity.
I've
Kenya.
not heard it yet.
Babylon 5.
I've not heard
Peru.
it yet.
Peru.
Argentina.
And it's not
Venezuela.
Argentina. Not
Is it a
Venezuela.
Spanish-speaking country?
Oh yes.
Dang it.
Canadian Space Advocate. I'll give it to you since you were closest. Mexico or Mexico City.
Mexico City.
And Ghost Rider
Oh,
83.
Mexico
You got it too.
City.
So you guys can mark your.
What
cards.
is the
What
Zocalo?
is the Zocalo?
Thank you.
Yeah.
for
So the
asking, Jay.
Zocalo. What is it?
Zocalo.
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 Zocalo, common name of the main square of central Mexico City. Plaza. It's a plaza, with all the features
They
and
arm us.
buildings,
Yeah, a
and
plaza.
it's big
Plaza.
time tourist
Pretty.
attraction. It's
Very
a must see. Apparently, is what I'm
Okay.
told.
All right.
All right. So here we are.
Bag for 200.
200. His butler's name is Alfred
Batman.
Pennyworth.
And yeah.
Batman. Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne. Okay.
Who
fine.
said Bruce Wayne? Bob? I'll give
Bob
it to
said
you.
it first. Go ahead. Give it.
I'm going to give it to Bob because he actually got it.
Batman. Is
Batman,
Bruce Wayne.
Batman really doesn't have a butler. It's really a Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay,
400.
Batman doesn't exist.
Bob. An alloy of copper
Bronze.
and zinc.
Brass.
That's right,
brass.
Connor.
Oh, right.
Good
brass,
job,
right.
Bob.
Bob.
And tin is bronze.
Right.
Yeah, sure it is.
Bob.
600.
Nori is made
Seaweed.
of this. Ian. Yeah, I kind of put that one in for you too.
Good. You're a
I
good
like
vegetarian over
sushi,
there.
Thank you. Well, okay, sort of.
All right.
Pescatarian, I guess.
Which one, Ian?
1,000, just to be.
1,000. The earliest edition of a daily newspaper
kind,
was called
John?
this. I did not know this, by the way.
The funny papers.
No.
The
Times?
rag. The
Nope.
rag.
I'm going to see if anyone in chat gets this.
The Daily Sun.
The earliest edition of a daily newspaper.
The New York
was
Daily.
called This. The firsts.
No,
The
it's-
beginnings.
it
The
was-
paper.
starts,
The morning
Boston
news.
Globe.
Right, the morning, but it had a name.
Earliest
it had a
edition.
term, basically. Not
Oh.
broadsheet. That's a good guess, Mike.
The
Uh,
recap.
Not the daily. Good, Olivia.
The print.
The print. The
Not first
the,
printing. It is.
The
first edition.
Oh, who got it? Who got it? It was. Wait, it is PNW Tree Hugger.
The Bulldog.
Have you guys ever? You guys ever? hear
Never
that
heard of
term?
that.
I
Never
never
heard
heard
of
of
that.
that term either. It is steeped
Why?
in antiquity.
The
I guess,
Bulldog.
you know?
Why is it called the Bulldog?
I
All right,
don't
one
know.
more
Didn't-
here. Steve won no matter what, but let's.
Well,
see
we
what
have
happens.
one more, but well, we can. Well, I
It's
can
worth
change.
8,000 points.
Yeah, I'm going to add a 0 on there, so everybody can grab this one. Ready?
Yeah,
On
go
3,
ahead.
3, 2, 1. See, I do a countdown. 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. Here we go. The Saffir-Simpson scale
Hardness.
measures these events,
Oh.
Earthquakes.
not earthquakes,
No.
Hurricanes.
hurricanes. Yes.
Wow.
The victory
very
goes to Steve
good.
this week.
I knew
Good job,
that.
Steve.
man.
Like hardness.
Simpson, eh?
Simpson, eh?
Very good.
There you go. Thanks for
That was
playing,
fun.
everyone.
Thank you, Evan.
You're welcome.
I delivered
Thank
the
you.
morning edition,
Thank
and I've
you.
never heard of that for 2
You're
years.
right.
The Bulldog
The Bulldog.
Yeah, must
So
be
wait, that was the
really-
first newspaper, the very first.
Because
That was
newspapers
what you
would print
call the
multiple
first one.
times during the day. You'd have the morning edition, sometimes an afternoon or a late edition as well. Sometimes, 3
Evening
or 4
edition.
editions. Yeah, evening edition. But the nickname was the Bulldog.
The first one, the Bulldog. Okay.
Yeah.
But that's the nickname for the morning edition? Or
Yes.
For the morning edition. It is the morning
It
edition.
is the morning edition.
Wonderful.
yeah. We all learned
Once
something
again.
today.
All right.
Skibidi Toilet and the Bulldog. Ooh,
Should
new
we take
show.
questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
ahead.
apparently the etymology is an editor of the publication Dog World. So the term arose around 1905 when a dog breeder wrote to Philadelphia Evening Bulletin asking for a copy of the newspaper that had the Bulldog on the front page. The staff found the photo in the first edition of that date, and so thereafter they referred to the first run of the day's paper as the Bulldog edition.
There you go.
Got it.
So that's interesting.
1905. Holy crap.
That's a
120
suggestion.
years ago.
Who knows
Back
if
when
that's
life was
actually-
simple.
Think
It
of the
might be a-
1900s as over 100 years ago.
I don't know
It's
if it's
crazy.
a perfect etymology, but anyway, whatever. Cool. I mean, there are some
Questions.
other little things. Yeah, we can do questions. All right. Let me get to the Discord. Remember, if you are on the Discord, which is a patron Discord, available when you connect your Patreon account at patreon.com/skeptic
Mhm.
guide to Discord so that you can get in and do all the stuff and yada, yada, yada.
If we get 100 new
free
patrons
to
by
ask
this
us.
time next week, I will eat charcoal on the show.
Oh,
next
my.
week.
Oh, good if
There's
there
a
wasn't a
challenge.
bucket. Not a
100
bucket.
100
100?
new. 100 new.
100.
And
Paying.
Paying.
yes, paying patrons, and I will eat charcoal. How's that?
All right.
Not really a question.
200 and Steve will eat mustard.
This
No.
one comes from Darth Chimay, but
This
it's
is not a guarantee.
it's not really a question. But on Wednesday's show, which reminder, we do a Wednesday live stream for anybody who only watches the Friday. We also do a Wednesday live stream when we're doing the TikToks.
Yeah.
We talk about all kinds of other stuff. This is the link.
We start around 1.
Yeah, around 1, whenever, and talk about a bunch of things and also do the TikToks. Steve mentioned the debate between Phil Plait.
Phil Plait.
Phil Plait.
Plait.
I read that wrong.
And
And a
some other
moon
guy.
landing denier on Penn Jillette's show. I was wondering if he
When was
remembered
this?
that
Is that
denier was
recent?
one Joseph Joe Rogan. What? It was really Joe Rogan?
Not that I
Who was Joe Rogan?
remember. I don't think so.
Was it Phil Plait and Joe Rogan? Wait, hold on. Phil Plait and Joe Rogan. That's what. Looking for the clip of Penn talking about Joe Rogan's debate with astronomer Phil Plait. This is somebody on YouTube.
okay.
I don't
Red-
remember it as being Joe Rogan, but I could be wrong. I don't remember.
Joe revisits Joe revisits the Phil Plait moon landing debate with Penn Jillette.
It was
It
Burrow
was.
Rogan?
It was
All
Burrow
right.
Rogan. 4 years ago, he had Penn Jillette on, and he was talking about that. So there you go. Didn't know.
All right, thank
I guess he wasn't even on my radar at that time.
Yeah, it was just like, that's funny. How long ago was that?
I figured that.
Question from Mitch: best zombie TV show or movie? Probably directed at Bob.
All right. There was a Korean
That's
Oh,
hard.
yes.
show
That one is
called
really good.
The Nation, I believe, or
Um,
Empire, Kingdom. A Korean show called Kingdom, where there was a zombie outbreak, and those are the scariest zombies I've seen in
Kingdom.
cinema.
My
Yes.
personal
Very
favorite
creepy.
movie-
Very creepy.
personal favorite movies are Dawn of the Dead remake, Land of the
Mhm.
Dead, no, not Land of the Dead, Day of the Dead,
Joke on
Mhm.
him.
and Return of the Living
Yeah.
Dead are my three
Yeah.
favorite zombie movies.
Well, I'm Shaun of the Dead all over the place. So that's
Mhm.
my
Shaun of the
fave.
Dead.
That's my
wonderful
fave.
too, sure. Love
There
it.
was also a movie, Train to Busan, I think, was also a very popular South Korean zombie
Yeah.
movie on a train.
The South Koreans know how to
Zombies
do
on a
zombies.
train.
What I love about Shaun of the Dead, I love the scene where they see the two main guys, see the first zombie,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just like, doing the zombie thing, and they're like, "Oh my god, they are so wasted." They just thought it was somebody who was really drunk. But
Oh,
which is funny, but it's also probably closer to reality. I don't, it's one of those things. I was when where we're watching a movie, like we know that, like in the context of this movie, that zombies exist, or that time travel is real, or that whatever, and then, but the people in the show, if they're reacting normally, like that shouldn't be the first thing that they jump to as a
Right.
possible answer. Like aliens are visiting or whatever. That they should really cycle through.
Yeah.
I mean, I would believe the person was in makeup before I'd believe it was a real zombie.
Yeah, the thing is, like, there are like zombie runs that you could pay for. Like, there are people who are like, yeah, we're all going to get dressed up as zombies. Like, you would assume is somebody in a zombie costume. That's far more likely than it's a freaking zombie, right?
Mhm.
The Last of Us is good.
Yeah.
Last of Us was fantastic.
Last of Us was good. Are we counting that as a zombie show? I guess so.
Basically,
I mean, yeah, it's a fungus zombie, I guess, right?
Yeah.
The fungus that attacks those ants.
They're not really zombies. I
Right.
guess they are.
Yeah, well, it depends, right?
The bodies, the people are dead and they're reanimated by the
Yeah.
fungus.
yeah, but they're
Yeah.
controlled. Yeah, but they're controlled by. Are they really dead?
It's very
Oh,
good. I
yeah.
mean, Last of Us is fantastic. I wasn't thinking of that in terms of the zombie genre. Fallout doesn't really have zombies. They have ghouls.
Yeah.
And the ghouls are sort of alive. But the canon doesn't really explain how ghouls work. Although I do get the sense that they're getting into that in the TV series. They are hinting at some more background canon on the ghouls. But they're technically not zombies. They're technically alive.
Yeah.
The feral ghouls, technically. Though.
Feral ghouls are functionally zombies, although they move fast. What I really like what they did in the video game, and it's very effective, is that when the zombies run at you, they like duck down and serpentine, and ducking down is remarkably effective at avoiding bullets. It's hard to aim at them. You know what I mean? It makes it makes it challenging. And then
it's
they
scary.
Then they jump at you when they get close. They hit you freaking hard.
Yeah.
They're but anyway, yeah. So you did get me to talk about Fallout.
There you go. We did it. Some pushback. No, Bob, they are infected and alive, not reanimated dead people.
Okay.
Which
What I said.
That's like 28 days.
Right.
Creature.
The viral.
They're infected. Yeah.
30 days later.
It's even worse to think that there's somebody inside there that's still like, holy fuck, I can't.
Well, it doesn't mean that they're conscious in the normal.
But it
sense,
might
you
mean
know?
they are.
It could be though.
Ooh, how awful would that be?
Olivia asked if we're bringing swag to Chicago. Yeah.
I answered her.
Sure.
Yeah, I know,
Oh
but
yeah,
I
we'll
mean,
have the brats and we'll have the.
We will
you know,
bring
the
one
beers.
single T-shirt, first come, first serve.
just yes.
You-
So good luck.
It's a.
But it will be all gold, and it will be $3,000.
Oh,
Bob,
It has 500 head holes and 1,000 armholes. Everybody wears the shirt together.
fast zombies or slow zombies?
Oh man, I don't mind fast. I prefer the slow,
yeah.
inexorable.
Gambler. Yeah, me too.
It's scarier in a
zombies,
way.
But fast is I'm okay with it. The
Fast
Dawn
are
of the Dead
scary, yeah.
remake. Dawn of the Dead remake is one of my favorite zombie movies. Fast zombies.
Fast zombies, yeah. Well, yeah, it's a.
They're definitely way more dangerous. When they're
I don't like fast zombies just because to me it's like
You don't
they're
like it
infected.
aesthetically.
Fast zombies are infected to me, right? Slow zombies, magic has to exist for slow zombies to exist,
Mm-hmm.
right?
And why can't, if magic exists, why can't they be fast?
Yeah.
Even
Not
for the
necessarily.
fast.
Because they can be infected, they could still have a metabolism and all that. You know, slow zombies seem to be the dead are risen and they are truly walking corpses. You know, there's a difference between those two.
Yeah,
Mm.
but the thing is, if you're saying they're animated by magic, by necromancy or whatever, why couldn't they be fast?
Because they're not.
There's no reason why they couldn't be. It's actually you could basically have them. They could be whatever you want them to be. If you're saying that they're animated by a virus or a fungus, now you have to deal with biology. But if you're saying it's necromancy, you don't have to deal with biology.
Yeah.
And the other thing is corpses. You know, the rigor mortis doesn't last forever. Muscles loosen up at a certain point, so they wouldn't necessarily be stiff, right? If they're dead for more than whatever a couple of days.
Yeah.
But of course, if they're super decayed, then they wouldn't have a lot of muscle tissue left.
Yeah,
But
like when
then
you
how
see
are
a
they
zombie-
moving then?
Exactly.
Right.
That's
Then you have to invoke necromancy, you know,
Yes.
to say that.
But don't fast zombies kind of mean that there's some consciousness like that is propelling them?
No.
No, I mean, because if you're
Well, you have to like
dead, if you're dead, recently dead and infected, your
Mostly
body is still
dead.
in really good shape, but you're
Yeah.
still dead. So it makes sense, and that's what they were going for with Dawn of the Dead remake. Is that they're freshly dead, so they're still physically fine. So there's no reason why if you're buying into the fact that they're animated dead, then you could buy into the fact that they're going to be fast because their body is still basically undecayed.
That's Bob's tip for the day for those budding necromancers out there. Make sure you get fresh corpses to animate.
Please, I mean, really.
Yeah.
Don't settle for seconds.
Yeah.
Best. No. Make sure it's fresh.
Let's see what we got. What podcasts do you guys listen to? Which Game First? How about that?
Thank you.
There's a podcast. Talk Nerdy. Hey.
Talk Nerdy.
Geologic
Geologic podcast.
A Geologic
Geologic.
podcast.
Skeptic
Whatever
Zone.
Brian Wecht has a podcast. He does have a podcast, actually. What am I talking?
Everybody's got a podcast.
Everybody's friend. Yeah, I think podcasters notoriously don't listen to podcasts. Is a common thing, or at least on occasion.
I just listen to science fiction and horror books.
Yeah, that almost counts.
I don't regularly listen to other podcasts. Selectively, you know, a show here, a show there. You know, I'm not a
when I'm traveling or on a long drive. Or something.
Yeah, right. I'll download a chunk of them and play them at that point. But you know, in my day to day, no, I don't have it's not happening in my background. I'm too busy, you know, focusing on other things.
I'm listening to Dan Simmons' Hyperion story. It's really good. It's really good. I'm really digging it. Very creative.
Oh no, Ross and Carey is very good. By the way,
narrators are fantastic.
Yep.
Question: Thoughts on the AI and Atlas? I don't know if I know it. Is that the Atlas AI?
Rocket? What?
Yeah. Be more specific, Chatter Mark specifically. Not a question, but Steve might be interested to know Malcolm McDowell will be filming a movie in Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Candlewood Lake this summer.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
we live by
your old
Candlewood
stomping
Lake.
grounds, right?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Candlewood Lake
swimming grounds.
When we were younger, the scuttlebutt was Candlewood Lake was the third largest man-made lake in the world.
Was that true?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's a huge lake, and it is man-made. There's a town under there, you know, basically, and it's used for Connecticut Light and Power. You know, they use it as for hydroelectric power. Yeah, that was our lake to go to growing up, Candlewood Lake.
So apparently it's a Vietnam War era movie.
Whoa.
Interesting.
I'm not
Okay.
sure what that means specifically, but
Doubt.
okay.
Okay.
I think if they're breaching the waters of Connecticut, they missed their mark. If they're whoops.
I'll find him, and then ask him what it was like to work with Stanley Kubrick.
Again.
Oh, yeah, do that.
He loves that question.
Oh yes. Malcolm McDowell. Oh my gosh.
I have a dying to ask you.
I have a question for you about someone else. How deflating.
What do you think about Stanley Kubrick?
Right? So wrong.
Very quick.
Has anybody seen this electronic flosser?
No.
Is it bullshit? Is it actually better than regular flossing?
It's like Sonic toothbrush, a Sonic screwdriver toothbrush.
Yes.
Is it still like a floss, like a piece of string that?
Is it on a?
But I think it's vibrating.
Oh, it vibrates. Oh,
so you put it between your teeth. I mean, I guess that's easier than.
How do you get that? It has to have a strand to go in between the teeth.
I don't know.
It does.
Okay.
Skeptic's Guide. What are your thoughts on Graham Hancock?
He is a total quack.
Oh gosh.
There you go.
Wow, he hasn't come up in a long time.
He seems to go mostly unchecked in the archaeology.
He is a
pseudoscientist.
He's not unchecked.
Been pushed out a long time.
Plenty of archaeologists will from time to time take down his bullshit when he rises enough, gets enough of a profile or whatever, he comes on the radar. They'll knock him down.
Yeah,
but he's a historical revisionist pseudo archaeologist. He has no idea what he's talking about. He just throws so much shit against the wall.
Oh gosh, hadn't heard that name in a while.
Oh, I just want a merch opportunity has arisen. SGU branded mustard. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Steve's supply of SGU branded. We'll have Steve's face on it, like black with thumb down. That'll be
and a bubble air quote. It's poison.
It's poison. That would probably smell, honestly.
Mustard,
exactly right. I mean, Skibidi toilet. I mean, we got to really start really thinking not only
ironic marketing, Evan.
Outside the box that the box came in. That's how outside the box we have to get on this stuff.
Oh man. Oh boy.
Shut up and take my money. Exactly.
It's doable.
The first mustardless mustard. I love it. In the patron chat.
People in the Discord, I legit would buy that mustard. A lot.
Of course. Put me down for a
awesome.
case.
That's awesome. Activated charcoal. Skeptics got you the mustard. Yeah. Okay, so that was most of the questions. There's one that I don't know. How about the research that is being done at Yale? I'm sure there's a lot of research being done.
The research done at Yale?
Research. What does that mean?
Lots of research being done at
Let's
Yale.
say, I don't know what that
probably
is. DC Skeptics
literally
hit us up again with that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
There you go. We have buyers lining up in the Discord now to buy the mustard. I bet we better get on.
All right, well, I'll start reaching it.
I like Novella's Pompeii pasta, Jay. We have to come up with our own sauce. Novella's Pompeii pasta.
Tastes great on watermelon. Well,
anything goes good on watermelon.
There's not many jarred sauces that are worthy of even investing any time, and there's a couple that are fine, but you have to cook them further. But homemade sauce is the way to go, and I will not formally jar sauce when you can make it at home.
Well, why can't you jar your homemade sauce?
Yeah,
you could, but I'm telling you, it just won't be as good as making it fresh.
Well, how is Homeworld 3? I always say that.
But you're talking about like a specific type of like pomodoro sauce that's like fresh tasting.
Yeah.
Like, what about those sauces that are really deep and like you need to let them cook for?
I'm not talking about a pomodoro sauce. I mean, even a traditional,
marinara?
Marinara. Heavy duty marinara that you cook for 4 or 5 hours and then it tastes better after you refrigerate it. Because I think that the manufacturing process can't be as good as someone tending to a pot of sauce. It just doesn't function the same way.
Yeah, because it doesn't have the love
or the hate. What if we put hate into our sauce
and bitterness and spite?
Delicious.
Plus, they have to probably put preservatives in it and all that shit. It's just, forget it, man.
So, are any of you playing Homeworld 3? I don't even know what that game is.
No, Homeworld 3.
You know what I'm playing now? I am playing the 2000 and whatever version, like the 2002 version of World of Warcraft.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, which version?
The original version, classic. World of
That's great.
Warcraft.
That's great.
That's cool.
Why not just get the latest version, whatever that
But
is?
it's not good.
What?
Well, then why? You just have to remind yourself.
I'm playing Fortnite, and I am looking for someone to duo up with if anybody's interested.
Oh boy.
I would try with you, Jay.
Rachel
it's
might
really
be
fun,
interested in
man.
playing with you for that.
Is Homeworld just like Starfield, but like
Did they make Starfield playable
finished?
yet?
Yeah, like is it finished? Well, it says pre-order in here, so that always gets me.
It's
a
not
little
done yet.
bit,
It's not out yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that. Windows XP. Yeah, we're back. Go for 25 and leave.
If anyone says gravy, I'm out of here. Some
Gravy.
people,
Tomato gravy.
A friend of mine
Yeah.
who's like half Italian and
That's
half
old world.
Portuguese and half Puerto Rican has an Italian grandmother who called tomato sauce gravy. And
Yeah.
it
Regional.
drove me crazy.
Yeah, gravy is a meat derivative.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're wrong. That's what I say.
No, my grandparents said that too. They said definitely called it gravy. The Italian.
It's
side.
just not gravy, though.
Just like
Gravy-
I know, but it's like
Gravy.
salsa is sauce, but we obviously know salsa is, but it just means
dance.
sauce. But it's
Yeah.
like it's a dance. That's right, a dance.
There's ketchup,
Salsa.
there's tomato sauce, there's salsa, and there's gravy. These are
That's-
all different things. Do not get them confused. I tried Fallout 4 VR.
Ooh.
Too nausea inducing.
Oh yeah, you can't
Yeah.
handle the swings, right?
and it's a little buggy. I would totally if they managed to if they made a ground up VR version of the Fallout series, like not the patched one they have out now, I would give it a try. Yeah, well, I think probably one of my favorite video games I've ever played was the
Half-Life
Half-Life
Alyx.
Alyx.
I know.
I played it through it twice, and I'm getting close to playing through. To being, it's been enough time that I'll play through it again.
Yeah.
But it's good. They leveraged the VR format very well
Yeah.
in that game. But whereas the retreads, the one where it's like it wasn't made for VR, but they did a VR version of it, not so much. I tried, but it wasn't the worst game. I tried playing Subnautica VR. I love Subnautica.
Yeah, Subnautica's great.
I understand they're coming out with a multiplayer version of Subnautica,
Ooh.
which I will definitely be playing with my
Yeah.
daughter.
There was a
That-
mod
that
for
comes
the
out-
original, but
Yeah, but there's a VR version of Subnautica. And think about it, you're swimming in 3 dimensions. No, there's no way I could play that VR.
Forget it, right?
Go upside down.
I don't want to be in a water environment with a creature that wants to eat me. even
oh my
if-
god, yeah.
Not my jam.
Once you go
It's
into
a
the
little
water,
freaky.
you're no longer at the top of the food chain. You drop a few steps.
All right, guys, I got to go eat dinner now.
yeah,
so
that's it.
have a
Yeah,
good night,
yeah.
everybody.
We might be able to convince the boys to play
Oh, boy.
Helldivers 2. That is
Here
Bye,
comes
bye.
the
So you have a tomato gravy.
Hey,
tonight.
Olivia.
girls.
and
Tomato gravy with
Hey,
the
Punk.
meatballs.
Your best
Yes,
friend.
Travis.
Hello.
Skibidi toilet. Ask him if they know what
This is my
Skibidi
best
toilet
friend,
is.
Oh yeah, ask
Bet
him if
they
they know
know.
what's
I
Skibidi
remember
toilet.
you.
I know
Mhm.
you.
Uncle Bob.
I remember you, Molly and Olivia.
Kid crash.
Out of the sidewalk.
All right, guys, I got to go. I got 4 kids in this room.
Hey, feed those kids.
Feed
Yeah.
those kids.
Bye,
Give him
everyone.
some tomato
Bye.
gravy with the sweet meatballs.
Time, Bubba. Do they know what? Oh, he left already. Well, whatever. All right, we're done.
That didn't take.
Bye.
Well, goodbye, everybody.
Come on, come on,
Nice.
guys.
Skeptic's Guide to the Universe is produced by SGU Productions, dedicated to promoting science and critical thinking. For more information, visit us at theskepticsguide.org. Send your questions to info@theskepticsguide.org. And if you would like to support the show and all the work that we do, go to patreon.com/skepticsguide and consider becoming a patron and becoming part of the SGU community. Our listeners and supporters are what make SGU possible.
I did. I mentioned it. It was just on the show.
Huh?
I meant. No, I used your name, Mr. Beast. I definitely used. I'll call you later. All right. Jeez, I got the.
Wait, you know Jimmy?
My phone blows up when.
Yeah, I mean, well, very popular. Very popular.
Can you imagine?
That would be pretty funny.
Can you imagine if we had some kind of outreach, even
The SGU on Mr. Beast? That would be funny.
Of the touch that a Mr. Beast or a Skibidi toilet or a whatever has. Oh,
You should just try to get on one of his, survive for a week in a grocery store or something challenges that he does. The SGU survives.
Yeah, exactly.
The SGU survives a flat Earth conference for
that
2 weeks.
That would be fun. No, Dave J didn't forget. He obviously he's overrun with Lilliputians and in
zombies. Children are like zombies.
In a way, in a way, you wish they were like zombies.
They just eat and make noise. It's the thing.
All right, Ian. What do you got for the
same audience?
What do you got for the post-extreme show? What do you got?
I did. Well, I mean, this is like a news item that I meant to bring up. America's never-ending battle against the flesh-eating worms. Did you know that apparently our taxes go to preventing these little screw worms, which are flesh-eating, although mostly cattle, but also humans. It maintains a screwworm barrier between Panama and Colombia. So it's like an invisible border that drops 14.7 million sterilized screwworms over the rainforest that divides the two countries to keep. And so it's like, millions of dollars in savings so that these screwworms don't eat all the cows, apparently.
So I'd never heard of a screwworm before.
Me neither.
And secondly, the fact that we have an official program, the Screwworm program, is in itself fascinating to the next level.
They do it every year, so it's so in a way, you're helping people fund that. I mean, the U.S. government fund that project because you are telling people what to pay on their taxes. So thank you for your service, Evan.
Oh, you're welcome. Anything I can do to help in the world of taxes is. Oh gosh! Don't get me started.
Don't get me.
I come here to escape those realities and talk about things like screwworms and tomato sauce or tomato.
I feel like there's an opportunity for a board game that you could make called Screwworms. I don't know what it would be, but the title seems good.
Speaking of board games, we are still developing the board game that the crowd came up with at Nauticon. And there is, I won't say there's a prototype yet. It's there is a game that we have the pieces. But we have to start now applying some artwork and doing some of the more creative touches to it. But there's a game in place. The game exists. So it is still a work in progress, but it is making progress. And hopefully, I think I'm meeting with my team for this on Sunday to talk about it some more. And I think within a month, maybe July, we may have some kind of something to show at that point, maybe. But we'll see.
So that might be in time for the 1,000th show. So like some first editions, right? So you're thinking maybe we could build them up for that 1,000th show and see if we can sell them out. It might be kind of fun.
We might
or at least play, while we're there.
Yeah, when we're ready, we are going to kickstart the thing. So we're going to do a Kickstarter campaign in which we hope that we get robust support so that we can actually really make the game. So we're looking forward to that. I see a question there in the Discord chat, Ian. You seeing that?
Okay, let me see.
Will the extravaganza banner ever be updated? Some of us barely look like ourselves in that photo.
No.
That's a fair point. That photo was taken in 2015. So yeah, it's 10 years old. And of course, I didn't have my face whiskers in that photo at the time. So will it ever be updated? Yeah, I imagine it will be. It would be a significant undertaking in a sense because there's things that have to do with that. There's several graphics regarding that banner, obviously, that are important to the show itself. So it would take an effort on changing all of those graphics, But I can see us updating that at some point, hopefully. Maybe in the next year or so, maybe it is a good suggestion.
Ages like wine or cheese, which are both good depending on who you ask. Unless you ask Steve, don't ask Steve. Not about to turn out. Over 2/3 of the audience knows. Yes, they. Yeah. What was it? E-game or proper board game? No, it's a proper board game.
Oh yeah, no, analog, totally,
Analog,
absolutely.
exactly.
I mean, you know, if it publishes and we get the whole thing working, we will also do an electronic version of it, which will probably go up at like Board Game Arena or some other board game online website. But yeah, we're definitely looking to produce it and churn it out. It will be a physical thing. What should I tell? I have to teach ChatGPT the rules of the board game and let it play AI versus AI. That would be fun.
That's
I
interesting.
could do that.
Yeah, we can do that. That would be pretty funny. Yeah, the flies are okay. Obscure fact: the border kept moving southward. The female fly lays eggs in the cattle wounds, such as wounds from barbed wire. Flies are more monogamous than our former president, which is why the sterile male technique works.
Well, there you go.
Interesting.
There
Very
you go.
interesting. And they also use radiation, apparently. So, you know, that whole Manhattan Project, I guess, led to us being able to radiate away some bugs. So,
technology is all about how it gets used.
That's right. That's exactly
Got to use it right. Otherwise, you'll use it wrong.
That's true. That's a fair point. Anything else before we go? Any other questions? And then we will hopefully see you back here. Maybe next Friday. We'll have to figure out what. I know the summer kind of gets crazy with all the happenings and stuff. Next Wednesday, obviously, we'll have the stream.
Right.
As we get more patrons, and thank you if you're considering or have become a patron recently, it gets closer to the goal of doing that 12-hour live stream. Or at least I think we were.
Is it 12 or 24?
20, I think it's 24, but I think we were going to split it up into 2 12 segments. And
really,
whether or not we put 12 back to back. There's been some debate over that.
Like so when we did our 24-hour cast back in 2011.
Yeah,
do the math. 13 coming up on 13 years ago, which is in itself remarkable. Using much inferior technology and so many other things, right? I mean, barely scraping by. And that was fun. It was fun, but it was exhausting. I was not right for several days after that. So I don't know how my 54-year-old self will feel about doing a true 24 show. But I mean, if we promised a 24-hour show, I would not.
You want to do?
I would
like
think we should just do it, right? As opposed to 212.
Yeah, I think 24 hours is not as crazy. Now, if we did a 48, we might die, but or at least situations may become complex. But I think we can do a 24. I'm up for it. I think it'd be fun.
I
don't think we can. Yeah, I don't
think make it fun. That's the thing.
Yeah, we'll make it fun. We got a lot.
And there's no shortage of material to talk about. I mean,
I want to
it's
point
not
out
going to be scraping by.
Yeah, the watermelon incident happened around 11 hours 30 minutes into the show. Are you sure?
Oh my gosh, that was something. That was remarkable. That was just so unscripted moment in life that just has an impact that goes beyond what it was. I mean, it's a meme. I mean, it really did. It turned into its
a meme beyond. Apparently, Olivia has spread it to her workmates, and now they know. Right? Was Olivia that they know it and they use it to explain silly situations. So it's like, okay, great. Thank you so much. It's larger than life. So yeah, it's moved on. We'll make merch of it. Don't worry.
Can I say? I'll say 2 things before I go because there are 2 things here in the Discord. Someone wants to play test. Who's that? Pamina wants to play test the board game. Sure.
Okay.
We'll put out some blasts for that soon. When we're ready to get to that level of play testing with other people beyond the people we've already been play testing with. So I'll keep that in mind. And then does Evan do the SGU taxes? No, Evan does not do the SGU taxes. I don't.
Yeah,
I do not.
It's got plenty of other taxes to do, I think.
Oh yeah. Yep.
All
right.
I'll never forget. Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that's good.
All right, let's call it. Let's call it. Let's go be with our families.
Yes.
Ian, thank you so much.
Toodaloo.
Oh, Steve
Absolutely.
called me Ian. I don't know if you noticed that.
I know.
So that has
Well,
to become. If we're still
He calls me
doing-
Evan occasionally too. so
Exactly
that's
right. So
fine.
that has to be a bingo card thing. I think.
It is. Oh, we got to bring back Wolfie. We will definitely do Wolfie for
Yeah,
the
let's do that.
stream. You know, we'll bring back it for the Fridays. I haven't done it in a while because we just forgot. But we could add some more fun stuff. Maybe we can put some more fun on there.
And my arm's doing fine, thank you.
Oh,
See,
yes,
I have a
good
scar
question.
here.
Thank you,
Where's
everybody.
a scar? Scar the here and a scar here. 2 scars. Right there. But the arm's doing good. Getting the strength back. I'm happy. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you for caring about
Alrighty.
me, my health, and this whole podcast and everything that we do. Thank you so much for supporting us, Ian. Thank you for everything you do. See
Thank
you
you,
guys soon.
Bye
Bye all.
bye.
Good night.
Oh, I cut off the good night. Say again. Good night.
Bye. Good night.